So guys, good morning. I've just woken up. I've just woken up. Naangalia videlineation naona ati Soprano anatumiaga 340 million kwa private jet. Yaani hiyo ni approximately 1 million a day. Guys, kama kukuwa na Soprano ni advantage. Niende hapi jameni. Nikunywe maji moto. 300 private jets. Ni kama hii country tumejengewa barabara kila mahali. Hosi zinafanya zote, education kila mtoto wako shule, ndio utumie 340 million to fly. Anyway,
I think one thing that stands out about this Grava compared to the ones that came before is how much they have money for PR as compared to almost anything else. There's almost never any budget for anything except PR. The state house spends so many millions per day. The DP spend $1 million per day on PR, just traveling, ma PR za kusema tuta. I think they prioritized the wrong thing, and you'll remember them for that. They prioritized the wrong thing. PR doesn't get you support. Actually working gets you support. That's just my opinion.
Tonight, the government is on the spotlight over its inability to curb wastage. NTV has established that Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki is planning to spend over 338 million shillings on air travel alone in the current financial year. This translates to nearly 1 million shillings every single day, spent purely on flying, excluding other recurrent costs, such as food, fuel, office furniture, and other operational expenses. NTV's David Mudoka reports on the DP's planned expenditure for the current financial year.
If there's one title the Deputy President appears determined to live up to, it is that of the President's wingman, quite literally. More often than not, Professor Kithure Kindiki is in the air, if not aboard a helicopter, then flying in high-speed jet aircrafts, moving from one destination to another, both locally and internationally. But this flying habit is now raising serious questions. Between July last year and June this year, the Office of the Deputy President plans to spend 338 million shillings on air travel alone. NTV has reviewed figures submitted by the Deputy President's Office to the government's electronic procurement system EGPS, which shows that out of this amount, 150.2 million shillings is allocated to helicopter services, 144.05 million shillings to commercial flights, while 44.57 million shillings has been set aside for chartered aircrafts. Data from the Office of the Control of Budget further shows that between July and September last year, the Deputy President's Office spent 425.87 million shillings in total, with 43.84 million shillings going solely to domestic and foreign air travel. Interestingly, this first quarter appears to have been the least flight-intensive period, as payment projections seen by NTV indicate that air travel was expected to rise sharply between October and December, and again between January and March. For helicopter services alone, the Deputy President's Office projected a total of 5,010 helicopter trips for the full financial year. Of this, 1,002 trips were planned for the first quarter, 1,503 for the second quarter, another 1,503 for the third quarter, and 1,002 trips for the final quarter covering April, May, and June 2026. Commercial airline travel was projected at 18,400 trips across the year, broken down as 2,755 trips in the first quarter, 6,320 in the second quarter, 6,265 in the third quarter, and 3,060 trips in the final quarter. In addition, the office planned 4,600 chartered flights over the same period, with 725 trips in the first quarter, 1,475 in the second, another 1,475 in the third, and 925 chartered flights in the final quarter. When broken down, the numbers paint a striking picture, with 338 million shillings over 12 months, translating to approximately 928,316 shillings spent every single day on air travel alone. On some days, the figure could be much higher, particularly when chartered jets are involved. The Deputy President has been seen to have a taste for the finer things in life, and on several occasions he has been seen using luxury aircraft for both domestic and international engagements. In November 2024, just days after assuming office, Professor Kindiki traveled to Botswana to attend the swearing-in of President Duma Boko, flying aboard a Rolls-Royce powered Fokker 70, an aircraft comparable to Kenya's official presidential jet. The aircraft has a maximum takeoff weight of 41,730 kilograms and can carry between 72 and 85 passengers, depending on configuration. These spending patterns are now fueling broader questions about government priorities at a time when many Kenyans are struggling with high food prices and shrinking household incomes.
It is surprising that the government would put hard-earned taxes on non-important expenditures such as airfare, about 1 million shillings a day. This is a time that the government should be thinking about a stimulus package that will be able to shield the citizens from, number one, an oncoming drought, issues around education.
They also raised doubts about whether the government is genuinely adhering to President William Ruto's directive on austerity and reduced public spending issued in the aftermath of the 2024 Gen Z uprising.
Even before the Gen Z crisis, at the time of the campaign for 2022, there was that promise for prudent fiscal management. In fact, at the time, the popular phrase was, when you're in a hole, you stop digging.
What emerges is the image of a government that says one thing and does another, pledging fiscal discipline, yet prioritizing high-cost travel, even as it struggles to deliver on promises made before and after the 2022 election. David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.
Let's get back to politics. And top government leaders who have been on an empowerment mission across the country could be in trouble. A case has been filed seeking to have the group led by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki account for the source of the funds they have been distributing. President William Ruto's aide Farouk Kibet, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula, and Majority Leader in the National Assembly Kimani Ichung'wah have been named in the suit before High Court Judge Chacha Mwita. The petitioner argues that the money being dished out has never been gazetted or budgeted for. And as KTN's Daniel Kariuki now reports, Deputy President Kindiki has handed out over 100 million shillings over the last few months.
Cash being handed out by the Kenya Kwanza Government Empowerment Battalion has come to haunt them, and they could have landed in problems. A day after the Standard revealed a controversial handouts program where millions are being used in early campaigns, lawyer Kevin Kipchirchir filed a case in court challenging the ongoing empowerment programs. According to Kipchirchir, the money is being used to advance political agenda, with the public officers handing out money and items to prop up their support bases. The petitioner has gone ahead to attach documents of various meetings held and money dished out in those meetings. Kipchirchir singling out Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's contributions. According to Kipchirchir, Kindiki handed out over 100 million shillings in various counties in Mount Kenya region. The DP has made about 40 trips on diverse dates in the month of June alone.
Kuna watu wale wanapiga hii program ambaye ni matajiri, wako na pesa mingi, lakini hawezi kukupatia kitu yoyote.
The petitioner argues that the money being handed out has never been gazetted, budgeted or accounted for. If the numbers in court are to go by, Kindiki is alleged to have given out more than 1 billion shillings, while Kapseret MP Oscar Sudi followed with 145 million shillings. According to the court documents, Kindiki gave out 2 million shillings in South Mugirango and another equal amount in Meru and in Kegumo, where he gave 5 million shillings. On the other hand, the lawyer claimed that on June 6, 2025, Sudi equally handed over 100 million shillings in cash and goods worth 45 million shillings in a political event. The court heard that on July 3rd, 2025 in Taita Taveta, in yet another forum, Cabinet Secretary for Mining and Blue Economy Ali Hassan Joho was seen dishing out 1 million shillings, while Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah gave 500,000 shillings. In the same event, in the Coastal County, Kipchirchir said that the